Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for tuning in with me today. Now in today's video I thought why not, review a couple of new makeup products that I actually picked up. I feel like summer is almost over, so it felt like good to just do like a concluding video with some of the makeup that was dropped in summer, some of the new releases that I actually picked up, and just put it all together in one video. I'm also going to be filling in the blanks with products that I might have reviewed in previous videos and give you a little bit of an update, or some products that, are not brand new, but that I still wanted to use and that I've never shown you on this channel. So I'm actually going to be featuring two brands that I've never talked about, which is Summer Fridays and Dibs Beauty. And I also picked up some new releases by Honest Beauty and Tower 28. But yeah, we're gonna fill in the blanks with products that you might be familiar with or that I just wanted to re-review. But in general, all of these products are newer releases. They were all released over this summer. And yeah, I don't really want to make the intro too long. I just want to say that all of the products that I'm using in today's video are actually 100% vegan, and they are of course also cruelty free. And also, in case you are new to my channel or this is your very first video that you're watching, I would absolutely love to keep you on here a little bit longer, so why not hit that subscribe button? You can also ring the bell in order to stay notified about my upcoming videos, and if you do enjoy this review at any point, why not give it a big thumbs up? That would be extremely appreciated. Also, do let me know in the comment section below if you've actually tried out any of these new releases, or are you interested in a brand that I should review? Do drop me a comment below. I always appreciate it and I love reading your comments, so thank you so much for that. But yeah, you guys, I don't want to waste too much time on a long intro because I can only imagine that you guys really want to see the brand new makeup. So don't forget that I also, in case you're just looking for one specific product, I always put in the timestamps in my description box below. And also, if you're down there, I always include some discount and some affiliate codes as well. And to everyone who's using those, thank you so much. That means the world to me. And yeah, I would say without no further ado, I'm gonna zoom you guys in. I'm gonna go bareface and I'm gonna be putting all of this new makeup onto my face. Alright you guys, so I'm barefaced right now, you guys are zoomed in, and I would say let's kick it off with a primer. Now I don't have a brand new release. I actually featured this primer in my latest video where I reviewed all the new summer releases in makeup, and since I haven't picked up a new primer, I thought let's just put this one on my face because I truly enjoy this one. So this is the Jane Iredale Smooth Affair Mattifying Face Primer, and this retails for $50. I just wanted to use this again because it's just so great, and I've been using this and loving it. And honestly, I feel like I've been using this quite a lot because I'm down to here already. It's a truly amazing primer if you just want to mattify your face, if you just want to get rid of the shine, if you want to blur out your pores a little bit. This really is superb. It's like the best primer I've ever used by Jane Iredale. So let me just put back my hair. It's quite a liquid texture, super runny, but it's doing such a fantastic job. I mean, straight away you can see the immediate difference, right? This side has primer on and this has no product on. It's quite impressive, I've got to say, and it's so lightweight in texture. You just have to give it like a couple of seconds for it to sink in. And honestly, I really love to put this all over my face. It actually works quite well. Sometimes these mattifying primers or blurring primers, I just put them on the spots where I actually need them, but this one is actually great really to just put all over your face. It works fine, and it does such a good job in just mattifying my face, blurring out my pores, and also it's actually hydrating as well. It's not one of these mattifying primers that's gonna like suck the life out of your face and dry you out. I don't think so. And yeah, I've been really enjoying this. It's a little bit on the pricier side, but I've been using this non-stop and I think it's really good. Alright, so let's actually move on to the foundation. Now in today's video, I'm actually going to be featuring two different foundations. One that I'm going to be putting on my face, and the other one we're just going to review it. And the reason for it being is that the Summer Fridays Skin Tint, I'm going to talk about this in a second. But, I just don't want to put it on my face today for a couple of reasons. First off, my period was so mean to me and it left me with some spots, and I just need a little bit more coverage than the sheer skin tint. But after I've applied the foundation that I actually want to use, I'm going to be reviewing the Summer Fridays sheer skin tint. But my face definitely does need something that covers a little bit better than that Summer Fridays one. And also it did not work for me that well. So let's actually move on to a foundation that I've been loving recently. And that is the RMS Reevolve foundation, and this retails for $48. Now this foundation I had also reviewed in my other new makeup summer releases review, and I've been loving it. I just realized after watching the video and after wearing this a little bit more, I realized the shade 22 that I had was just a tad bit too light for me. I mean, I had the shade 22 in their cream foundation, and I realized that shade is a little bit deeper than the shade 22 in their Reevolve liquid foundation. So I just thought to myself, let's actually pick this up in a new shade. So I got myself the shade 22.5. Now I'm going to show you swatches of these two compared with each other. I kind of feel like the shade 22 also has a little bit more of a yellow undertone. And honestly, I always prefer a neutral undertone. And I think the shade 22.5 actually does have a little bit more of a neutral undertone. So I've been really enjoying this foundation. I've got to say, you just have to twist the cap and then this lifts up. And you can also refill this. So here's the shade 22.5. All right, so a little bit of this foundation does go such a long way. And my preferred method of application is actually a dampened beauty sponge. I'm just going to take a little bit onto this side and we're going to cover all of this up. I mean, straight off the bat, I would say this gives me a solid medium coverage. I really love the finish too. It's more on the satin side, more on the sort of matte side. It's not dewy, it's not oily, it's not greasy, it's not over the top luminous. I think it just makes your skin look super healthy, and it just melts in with my skin. It really does not look like I would be wearing any makeup. It just looks so nice, and the coverage level too. And also this shade is just so much better. This is really matching me. I felt like the shade 22 was just too yellow and a little bit too light. So let's actually continue. Just have to pump out a bit more product. I'm just going to build it up a little bit more. I still have some product in here that I don't want to go to waste, so let's just put it on my skin. I honestly love this foundation. I mean, I love the finish, I love the level of coverage, and I also really do enjoy the shade 22.5. And I wish RMS would actually indicate the undertones on their website, because they just kind of forgot about that. I'm not sure why, but yeah. All right, so my foundation is on, so let's actually move on to that Summer Fridays product. So this is the Summer Fridays Sheer Skin Tint, and this retails for $42. So this is the Skin Tint by Summer Fridays. It's a brand new release, and I really wanted to review this product, but in all honesty, I tried it out a couple of times and I actually filmed that, so I'm going to show you the footage of what I actually filmed. I knew this was a sheer skin tint, but I still wanted to pick it up because I really enjoy Summer Fridays. Some of their skincare is actually great, and Summer Fridays is primarily a skincare brand from the US. You know, some days I actually don't need that much coverage, so some days I don't want to, have a full bead of makeup on. And this was kind of advertised as a sheer to light coverage skin tint that you could build up. So first off, today I did not feel like putting this on my skin. And also the previous days when I tried this out, my skin was a little bit more inflamed because of my cycle. Just keep that in mind. But first off, let's actually get a little bit into the details about this foundation. Now, this actually comes in 10 different shades. I'm so glad I actually picked up the right shade this time around. I picked up the shade 4. Not based on the undertone, just literally based on what I felt was right by looking at these swatches. The model that they chose to feature with the shade 4 has much deeper skin than I do, but the shade 4 for some reason matches me perfectly. So no problem with the shade on my part. However, there's only 10 shades and there's a huge lack, I feel like, in the shade range in terms of the undertones, especially for fair to medium. I mean, they did a good kind of job in just, dividing them from light to deep. Not saying that, but I'm saying there's a lot of like undertones that are missing. And also my shade, the shade 4, is described as a light to medium with neutral olive undertones. Now, I'm neutral, but I'm not olive. I would not say that this has an olive undertone, to be honest with you. Neutral, yes, but where's the olive? I don't know. I did not see any olive. So when I tried this out, I had my hopes up. I thought maybe this is going to work for me, Oh my gosh, I kind of ran into some issues. So I tried this in many ways. I tried this with my fingers, which I don't like, honestly, because the product is just too oily and too runny in consistency to spread out evenly with my hands. I don't know. I'm not the best when it comes to finger application. So I decided to actually go in with a brush, and that actually worked fine for me. Now, this was actually advertised as a natural finish. Now, the RMS foundation that I'm actually wearing right now also is advertised as a natural finish. But this one, it should have been advertised as a dewy, luminous, glowy finish, because this was dewy and borderline greasy on my skin. I mean, I kind of knew when I went in, this had some oils in there, and I kind of already suspected that this would kind of be looking a little bit more dewy. But then I always think, I can powder this down. But I ran into another weird issue. This pilled up on me. Like this, just for the life of me, I tried it a couple of times and every time this product pilled up. So it basically balled up. I just feel like my skin and the skin tint just don't get along very well. So the coverage level on this too, it is just how it's advertised, sheer to light. I mean, I tried to build this up, and the more I built this up, the oilier it looked. Sometimes certain products do pill up on my skin, and on other skin types, they don't. I'm not sure what is happening here. I might have to try it out a little bit more, but I feel like every time it's gonna do that. Maybe it's just something in the formula and my skin not agreeing to it, because I tried it with a primer, I tried it without primer, I tried it with the sponge, I tried it with my fingers, I tried it with a brush, and every time it would do that, and it's just a little bit of a deal breaker. Also, the parts where it really started pilling on me was definitely my jawline and on my cheeks and also on my temples. So I'm not sure. I don't really feel comfortable recommending this product too much because it did that to me. Do drop me a comment below if it did that for you too. So let's actually move on to the next product, which is a brand new concealer. And this one I got really excited about when I heard of this release, and I really wanted to pick that one up. So this is the Honest Beauty Fresh Flex Concealer, and this retails for $22. I really feel like it's about time that I'm doing a full face of Honest Beauty, because I feel like they're kind of like revamping their entire brand. They're coming out with new products, and they've also got rid of some products. They updated the packaging on things, and they have recently released this concealer, and it's really nice because it's actually in a glass packaging, which I honestly really enjoy. Now, this actually does come in 16 shades. It's actually advertised as a medium to full coverage buildable concealer, and I've been trying this out for a couple of days, and I've got to say, I'm impressed. I like it. I like it a lot, It's a little bit heavier than my Lawless concealer in texture, but, it's still creamy. It's very hydrating, and it's not bad at all. I actually do have the shade Fawn. I did not really know which shade to pick out, and so I just was like, let's maybe go with a medium shade, and I'm glad I did that because her concealers do tend to be a little bit more on the fair light side. Although this is a medium shade, I'm a light to medium, not a medium. And the shade Fawn is described as a medium shade with peachy undertones. It's not over the top peachy though. It's not like orange or anything like that. I feel like it has a little bit more of a cool peach undertone, if anything. Now, the texture of this is definitely more creamy, more hydrating. It's a little bit less emollient though than the Kosas Revealer Concealer. I still think this is a really good texture. I really like it. So let's put it right here. It's quite a liquidy texture as well. Okay, so I'm gonna blend this out with a sponge, and then once we're done, I'm gonna actually show you what this concealer did on top of my Summer Fridays Sheer Skin Tint, because I really needed more coverage, you know, with that skin tint. So right now you might not be able to see how well this is actually covering up, but it actually does have a lot of coverage, so I'm gonna show you that in a second. In terms of creasing for your under eyes, if you do have some fine lines, I would always suggest to go in with a beauty sponge instead of a brush. I mean, the creasing on this is so minimal. This is not a crease disaster. It's actually pretty good, and it's really like hydrating for your under eyes. I really like that. Also, the finish of this concealer is more on the luminous side. It's definitely not like a matte or satin finish. I feel like it's a little bit more luminous without being overly like glowy or dewy or greasy or oily or anything. I'm gonna show you what it actually did on top of the Summer Fridays foundation, because I feel like it did offer me a lot of coverage when I needed it. And I feel like you could actually use this all over your face, you know, if you're not using any foundation. Has some decent coverage, a lovely, more healthy, natural finish, without being over the top dewy or without being too matte. It's right in the middle. And yeah, I really do think this is a great concealer. Great release by Jessica Alba, who actually is the owner of Honest Beauty, in case you did not know. But I really enjoy this. This is a really nice product, really good concealer if you want more medium coverage and if you want a little bit more of that natural finish. Alright, so let's actually continue with a powder. Now, I don't have a brand new powder. In my latest video, I actually used a beautiful blurring powder by Fit Glow Beauty, which I truly, truly love. But today, I kind of wanted to use a different powder. I also was not sure if I should use the brand new Westman Atelier powder. In all honesty, I used that the other day again, and I am so not impressed by this product. I told you I would update you on that. The wear time of this powder is just ridiculous. And I'm kind of regretting that I got this. So, I mean, it's just not worth it. I am so not impressed with this powder, so don't spend your money on it. So honestly, the one that I want to use today, it's definitely not a new powder, but I just, you know, gave this a second chance, and ever since I can't stop putting this down. And that is actually the Kosas Cloud Set powder. I've got this in the shade Breezy, and I just kind of want to put that on my face today just to set my makeup, set the concealer, and I also don't want to overly mattify my face or blur it a lot, because I feel like it looks really, really nice. Although this is a little bit blurring, it's not over the top mattifying, okay? And I've been really enjoying this. But yeah, recently I've just been reaching for this a lot more than I ever thought I would. So I'm just gonna use this to set my concealer. Alright, so my base is on. I've got to say, love it. I love the concealer, I love this foundation, love the powder. So let's actually move on to some color complexion products. So for today's look, I thought, why not play around with some creams? And I actually picked up a product that is by a brand that I've never featured on my channel, because I also assume this brand is pretty new and they've launched a couple of products, and I was really intrigued by it, so I picked one of them up. So this is by Dibs Beauty, and this is their Desert Island Duo Blush and Bronzer Stick, and this retails for $32. So here it is, the Dibs Beauty Blush and Bronzer Stick. So as you can imagine, this has a cream blush on one side, and on the other side it has a cream bronzer. So recently I've been a lot more into cream bronzers, and I've been really enjoying them. And so I really wanted to try this product out in particular, because it is a new release by a brand that I've never featured on my channel, and they really kind of, you know, intrigued me. And what intrigued me about this was that they actually have this product in 8 different shades. So that was quite refreshing, seeing a cream bronzer being released in 8 different shades with also 8 different blush shades. So I actually picked up the shade number 3, and the blush is called Full Deeds, which is described as a natural rose. And then the bronzer is called Spill the Tea, a light to tan with cool undertones shade. So today I just want to use the bronzer, because I have another cream blush that we're going to be using in a second. But I'm actually going to show you the blush applied on my face because I did try it a couple of times and I do have some footage of it. So I'm going to show you this applied to my face in a second. But let's actually use this beautiful cream bronzer. Now the shade really intrigued me because it was described as a cool undertone shade. So a little bit more on the cooler side, which I prefer in my bronzers, like neutral to cool. I don't really like a warm, orangey, peachy, even yellowish kind of bronzer. I really prefer these types of shades. The formula on this, it is quite emollient, like emollient, and it has like light to medium pigmentation. So you kind of have to build it up a little bit. So I'm gonna apply the Spill the Tea shade first in the bronzer, and then I'm gonna show you how the blush full deeds actually looked on my skin. The blush was a lot more luminous on my skin than the bronzer. But it's a beautiful sort of cream. It just melts onto your skin like immediately. And when you swatch it, you do assume it has a lot of pigment, but once it goes onto the face, it does have more of a light, buildable to like medium pigmentation. So I always put this on the back of my wrist first, and then I take it onto a brush. This is a Real Techniques 200 brush. And yeah, so let's actually bronze up my face. So this one, although it's neutral and described as a cool undertone, I still feel like the Westman Atelier is a little bit cooler, but it works really well on my skin tone, you know. The formula on this Dibs Beauty one is so creamy. It is a little bit more emollient in general. It's super creamy. It's almost like borderline melty. So it really did not interrupt my powder. It did not interfere with the powder underneath it. And it blends out like a dream. In general, I've been really happy with this cream bronzer because it just spreads out so easily and the shade works for me quite well. It is just a little bit more light in pigmentation. I feel like, you know, you do need quite a lot of product to actually build it up. I'm going to show you how the blush actually looked on my cheeks. The blush, nice color. It looked really kind of dewy though. Like, I don't know what it is, but the bronzer does not look as dewy as the blush formula. The pink is definitely leaning a little bit more on the coral side than on the really intense magenta pink side. Also, I do want to mention though, one thing about this product is the scent. It smells of vanilla. Like when I opened this the first time, I was like, oh, this does have a scent to it. I did not see any fragrance in it or any essential oils, but there is some vanilla in here. So it definitely does smell like vanilla. I mean, I don't mind that. I kind of like vanilla. All right, so my face is bronzed up. So let's actually move on to the brand new blush. And I'm so excited about this one. So this is by Tower 28 and this is their Beach Please Luminous Tinted Balm, and this retails for $20. They just recently also launched like a couple of lip pencils or eye pencils, like multitasking pencils. I'm really intrigued by them, but this product here, I mean, I had to pick it up just because of the shade, and I'm so familiar with the formula. So this cream blush is not a brand new formula, but it's a new shade, a new addition to their already existing 6 shades. So now they got 7 shades in total, and the shade, oh my gosh, this was so up my alley. So the shade is called Office Hours, and it's described as a sun-kissed mauve. Here it is. It is such a beautiful kind of dusty mauve. It's super nice. It's a little bit more cool toned. It's not like poppin' or anything. I think this might just be my favorite shade that Tower 28 has ever released. I'm gonna warm this product up a little bit. I kind of like to warm this up, and this is like a really balmy product, but it's not as emollient and as creamy. It's a little bit more stiff, and once my fingers actually touch the product, it's really kind of melting. This product also has a lot more pigment to it, but just look at the shade. The shade is so stunning. Oh, isn't that beautiful? I mean, that is such a beautiful, more sort of muted mauve. Again, I always put cream products on the back of my wrist and then I take them onto my brush. This is my Ilia complexion brush, and I just work it into the brush a little bit. And then let's go into the apples of my cheeks. I mean, you can see it's a little bit dewy. It's definitely described also as a luminous balm product. So you can see it's giving my skin such a healthy sort of flushy glow. You can definitely put some powder on top of this. I'm actually going to do that. So I'm actually going to just use a little bit of my Kosas powder, just a little bit. But what a beautiful color, and I did not need to use a lot of product. I've always been a fan of their cream blushes and also of their bronzer. I really do love them. They are so pigmented and they just look like seamless on the skin, you know. I really feel like this newly released color is everything. It is so stunning. I really honestly enjoy it. Might just be my favorite color that they've ever released. So my blush is on, so let's actually move on to the highlighter. So for the highlighter, I'm just gonna go with the one that is the newest in my collection, which is the Item Beauty Hey Hi Halo Liquid Highlighter, and this retails for $18. So I actually did a full face review on Item Beauty in case you're interested. This highlighter was the newest release and also the newest highlighter that I actually have in my collection. It is a liquid highlighter, okay? I mean, since we were going in with some creams, I thought, why not actually pull out a liquid highlighter? I might have to go in with something different on top of my nose because liquid highlighters just don't work well on the tip of my nose. Yeah, this is super runny and liquidy and it dries down a little bit too quick in my opinion. I have the shade Electric. I think it was described as a champagne. I actually used way too much product now because I don't really need that much, but I'm just gonna use this on my ring finger and tap it onto the high points of my cheeks, like right here. I'm just not sure what you think of this product, what to make out of it. It's just a little bit strange. I'm gonna go in with an eyeshadow brush because I feel like I'm just moving the product around with my fingers and my foundation underneath it does not really like that. Yeah, I'm not so sure if I like this or if I really don't like this. I'm actually not a big fan of liquid highlighters. I find them just really difficult to apply and they are just usually interrupting the makeup that I have underneath it. I much more prefer a cream highlighter or even a powder highlighter. So on this side, I really don't think the product looks great. I feel like it really interrupted my foundation and my powder underneath it. I mean, in my full face review, I already wasn't the biggest fan of the product, but also I did not wear this foundation and not the combination of products. So maybe I've just used too much product, I don't know. I just think it's so finicky, a liquid highlighter. I'm gonna save the day here. I just literally pulled out my Kierwise powder highlighter. Still love this powder highlighter. One of my favorite highlighters, honestly. So I'm just gonna apply that to my nose. To be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of this Item Beauty liquid highlighter, but it's just in general. I don't really like liquid highlighters that much because they are just so finicky. So I'm done with my complexion, so let's actually move on to the eyes. Now, again, I don't really have a new eyebrow product, but Lawless has just recently released new eyebrow products and I've ordered them. So once they arrive, I will definitely review those. But until then, I'm just gonna go with my favorite combo at the moment. So I'm gonna use the Item Beauty Brow Chow. I love this. This is an amazing product by Item Beauty. This is really, really good. This is the best eyebrow pencil I've ever tried out. And then I'm gonna go over it with my Kosas Airbrow Tinted Gel in the shade Soft Brown. This has just been the combination that I've been using all the time. So yeah, I'm just gonna do this off camera and then I'll be right back. Alright, so my brows are filled in and I also applied some eye primer. I actually used my favorite one, my Lila B Virtuous Veil Concealer and Eye Primer. I love this one. I still use it. Yeah, so let's actually move on to this beautiful eyeshadow palette that I wanted to review today. Now, I just want to mention too that this is actually not a new release. This palette has been in existence for, I would say, maybe a year or so. I had it for a while, but I've never reviewed it on my channel, and I thought today is the day. So this is by Complex Culture Beauty, and this is the full-time eyeshadow palette, the Party Edit, and this retails for $28. So Culture Beauty is actually a really interesting American brand. I actually tried their concealer and their setting powder, and I've been loving them. I think this eyeshadow palette also exists in 3 or 4 more colorways in case you're not vibing with this, but honestly, this to me is just the perfect eyeshadow palette. I mean, here is the outer packaging, and then you open it like that. Just look at these colors. I mean, wow. The formula on this is so nice. Like, these blend out like cream eyeshadows. They are so creamy, so buttery, a beautiful formula, non-patchy. I honestly love this. And I love the glitters in this. I mean, the shades are just phenomenal. So I'm gonna show you swatches of them all on my arm. And I'm gonna go top row, middle row, and bottom row. As I said, they are like creamy, buttery, kind of like when they go into your eye. But honestly, once you dip in your brush, they are a little bit more powdery. However, they just blend out like seamless. They have such a nice blend. I'm definitely gonna try and show you 2 looks after I'm finished with this one, so you can see how many things you could do with this. Maybe today I'm gonna do a little bit more of the brown, and I definitely want to top it off with this beautiful bronzed kind of shade. This almost looks like a blue, but this is like a multi-chrome shade. It's just so stunning. So we're gonna have some fun playing around with this beautiful palette. So let's actually start off, and I'm just gonna use a little bit of this cream shade just in my inner corner, and you can see once I dip in my brush, they are a little bit more powdery. They really do come across as a really beautiful buttery formula. So I'm gonna also tap off my brush because these have so much pigment. Some of them have more pigment than others, but they are all really beautiful, like buildable, and they just look stunning. So I'm just gonna start off with this shade Cream, and I'm gonna go into the inner corner of my eye right here. I mean, this is such a beautiful cream shade. I really honestly enjoy it. Like, these have like some sort of blurring effect on your lids. Like, they're just absolutely stunning. The versatility of this palette is what also really drew me to this palette. You know, you can just do a neutral look with some matte shades and just top it off with a little bit of glitter, or you can just do a full beat with all of these shades, and that's what I really like. So I'm gonna move on to the shade Toast, and I'm just gonna use this as a transition shade in my crease. I mean, these just go on effortless, okay? This is such a beautiful, more caramel, sort of brown shade. It's really stunning, and I really like the pigmentation of this. I really like how this blends out. All right, and now I'm gonna go in with the shade Chestnut, which is a little bit more of a deeper, richer brown, but still really neutral, really lovely. These 2 colors combined with each other, I feel like they are just so stunning. I really have to say, I love the blend on these. They just look diffused, you know? They look almost like blurry. Like the shade Chestnut, it's definitely a little bit richer than the shade Toast, but they're both still on the neutral side. I feel like they're not too warm. So I know that these deeper shades are very pigmented. So I'm gonna just dare to dip in my brush just a little bit into the shade Chocolate. This is super pigmented, okay? But it's so lovely. It's still going to be giving you that more diffused look without being patchy or anything. So I'm just gonna dip in a little bit and gently tap it off. And I'm just literally gonna put it on the outer corner just to deepen up my eyeshadow just a bit. But I'm not gonna go in like crazy with this, otherwise I have a very sort of deep eyeshadow look in a second. So yeah, just be careful with this shade. I'm just gonna put in an eyeliner into my waterline, and I'm just gonna go in with the one that I always use, which is the Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal liner in the shade Cocoa, because I feel like it's gonna match, you know, my eye look quite well, because it's a little bit also more of a muted brown. Okay, so I'm gonna do my lower lash line now, and I'm gonna actually use these two shades. I'm gonna use the shade Chestnut and the shade Chocolate. I'm gonna use the shade Chocolate just on the outer corner of my lower lash line. And for the rest, I'm just gonna be using the shade Chestnut. So I'm gonna go into the shade Chocolate. Okay, so all of my matte shades are now laid down, so it's about time to actually dive into some of these gorgeous shimmer shades. And I think I want to put the shade Bronzed all over my lids. Like, the base of this shade is brown, but it has this beautiful silver sort of blue shimmer in it. It's so, so stunning. So I'm going to take it onto my finger and then just put it all over my lids. So here you can see it's just such an interesting shade. Like, I love this. So let's put this all over my lid. I feel like this shade really does look like a more sort of grayish kind of silver. It's so beautiful. It definitely has some blue in it as well. Yeah, let's put it onto my other side. I mean, you could actually pick these up with a brush, but I always like to just, you know, apply them with my finger and then just blend them out with a brush. I've got to say, I really, really enjoy this color, this more like blue gunmetal, almost like grayish sort of silver. It's really interesting because they also put a shade in here called Silver, but that one has a little bit more of like a pale kind of golden vibe to it with some green. Like, it looks more gold than the bronze one, definitely looks more silver than the silver one, if that makes any sense. I'm also gonna just use some inner corner highlight, and I'm gonna go into the shade Rose Gold, which is just such a beautiful sort of iridescent shade. It's really bright, and this is gonna work so well in the inner corner of my eye. So I'm just gonna take this a little bit on my brush and then just put this around here. I don't really understand why the shade is called Rose Gold, because it does not really have any gold in it. It really comes across as more of like sort of a white shimmer, if that makes any sense. It's not really like rose gold. I just feel like the names of some of these glitter shades is a little bit, you know, wrong. I'm also just going to use this a little bit to highlight my brow bone. Like, I really love this eyeshadow palette. It's a little bit smokier than what I actually wanted to go for. Like, you could definitely go a much more like subtle, more neutral way with this palette, you know? But I always just enjoy doing these more like smoky looks with this palette. Really just enjoy it. I'm going to show you that sunset look that I was talking about. And I'm also going to show you the look from the future I'm going to actually film tomorrow, but I'm just going to put an insert here because I'm actually envisioning doing something with this palette, which is like using that cream shade as a base and then going in with the rose gold all over. So my eye look is almost done, so let's actually apply a brand new mascara. So this is the Honest Beauty Extreme Volume Mascara and Bold Lash Primer, and this retails for $20. So this mascara was released like a couple of weeks ago, and I was so intrigued when I saw this one because I honestly really did love their Extreme Length Mascara. I actually reordered that so I can do a full kind of like comparison of both of these mascaras in a full face review by Honest Beauty. But yeah, here is the new Volume Mascara by Honest Beauty. I've been playing around with this quite a lot, and I definitely do have my thoughts together. I feel like Honest Beauty is really good when it comes to mascara kind of formulas. However, there is always a lash primer with this, and the lash primer to me is just a little bit gimmicky. I mean, I tried this with the lash primer too, did not make any difference, you know. So this product is also vegan, safe for sensitive eyes, safe for contact lens wearers, and cruelty-free. Thin primer brush separates and coats every lash in blue pigment, while the extra fluffy mascara brush creates thicker looking lashes from root to tip for a dramatic end result. The only thing that always confuses me about this mascara, this is also the case with the extreme length mascara, is the fact that this is actually the brush. This is not the product. This is the product. It's just so weird. When you take it out, you're just like, wow, what is happening? So yeah, it's just weird that the brush is actually on the product itself and not the other way around. So as you can see, this is a big bristle brush. It's quite huge, you know, it's quite large, I've got to say. It also has this pine needle cone kind of shape. So I'm gonna curl my lashes. We're gonna apply this. This brush is massive, okay? And I also think this mascara works best if you kind of blink into the brush itself. It's non-clumpy. It also did not smudge on me. It's really nice. It's lovely. I mean, as I said, you know, Honest Beauty knows how to make a good mascara formula. So yeah, let's apply it. I mean, it's pretty nice, you know, it's definitely pretty black. Definitely more of a volumizing mascara than it is a lengthening one. I feel like this might be a mascara that does hold a curl quite well if you were looking for something like that. But yeah, I just want you to see the difference, you know, no product at all and this mascara. So I'm just gonna do the other side. I feel like this mascara does do a decent job, you know. I just think it does take a little bit of time to apply it to get it to this point, you know. If you want something that gives you a little bit more volume, definitely go for it. It's a good formula. It's not going to smudge. It's not going to flake off. So plus points on that. But yeah, it's not like something out of this world amazingly, you know what I mean. The extreme length mascara, I find it to be a little bit more up my alley. But if you don't like an extremely lengthening mascara, try this one because it's actually a really good mascara, you know. Didn't leave me hanging. It kind of holds a curl as well, and it's really black. Just a huge brush if you like those brushes. And for some reason, I always feel like when they do like bigger brushes, you would assume that the application would just kind of go a little bit quicker, but for some reason it just slows things down, at least on my end. So let's actually move on to the new lip product that I actually picked up. Now, I kind of feel like maybe it's not gonna work too well with my eyeshadow look. Who knows? Let's actually try it out. So this is the Tower 28 Shine On Milky Lip Jelly, and this retails for $15. So when Tower 28 actually released the shade Office Hours in their Tinted Luminous Balm formula, they also simultaneously released a new kind of lip jelly in the same shade. And this is the shade Sesame. And it's also this mauvey kind of shade. I love this formula of lip gloss. It's kind of lightweight, but it's kind of more like a gel. And it's really lovely. It's such a nice lip gloss for $15. I really do enjoy this formula. It's a really nice one. It's like sheer pigmentation, gives you a lot of like reflect on the lips, makes your lips look like really like sort of wet and juicy. And the shade here, oh my gosh, I just love it. I just hope it's gonna match. Maybe it's gonna match. I don't know how this eye look will look with some mauve. But I also wanted to use this with a lip liner, to be honest. So yeah, I feel like maybe I could use my Lawless Forget the Filler Definer liner in the shade Honey Rose. I love this liner so much, but I definitely need to sharpen it first. Yeah, I think it's all right. I think it's gonna work with the eye look. So let's actually apply this beautiful Milky lip jelly. It's such a beautiful shade. These are a little bit more on the sheerer side, but they still have some pigment, and I just love this formula. Although this is described as like a sheer lip gloss, I feel like they have some medium pigmentation, because it is quite a nice color payoff, I've got to say, you know. It is non-sticky, non-tacky, just really nourishes and hydrates your lips so well. But yeah, you guys, this is my final look. I've got to say, I'm really pleased with the outcome of this look. I love how my eyes are looking. I love my complexion and also the lips. I mean, stunning products. Do let me know also in the comments down below if you have tried out any of these new releases, or if you're actually interested in some of the brands that I featured in today's video. I'm always looking forward to reading your comments. And also, if you did find this video helpful in any way, or if you just enjoyed it, why not give it a big thumbs up? And in case you've made it that far and you still have not subscribed to my channel, why not hit that subscribe button? I would definitely appreciate it, and I would love to keep you on here a little bit longer. And you can also ring the bell in order to stay notified about my upcoming videos. And until next time, please do take care. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.